school? Whose school? Whose school? Fight for BC, liberate CUNY.
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 Whose school?
Our school.
Whose school?
Our school.
Whose school?
Our school. 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 Our school.
Whose school?
Our school.
Whose school?
Our school.
Whose school?
Our school. Our school.
Fight for BC, liberate CUNY.
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 Hey, hey, oh, tuition that have got to go. Hey, hey, oh, tuition that have got to go. Hey, hey, oh, tuition that have got to go. Hey, hey, oh, tuition that have got to go. Hey, hey, oh, tuition that have got to go. Hey, hey, oh, tuition that have got to go. Hey, hey, oh, tuition that have got to go. Hey, hey, oh, tuition that have got to go. Hey, hey, oh, tuition that have got to go. Hey, hey, oh, tuition that have got to go. Hey, hey, oh, tuition that have got to go. Hey, hey, oh, tuition that have got to go. Hey, hey, oh, tuition that have got to go. Hey, hey,
That's so funny.
tuition that have got to go. Hey, hey, oh, tuition that have got to go. Hey, hey, oh, tuition that have got to go. Hey, hey, oh, tuition that have got to go. Hey, hey, oh, tuition that have got to go. Hey, hey, oh, tuition that have got to go. Hey, hey, oh, tuition that have got to go. Hey, hey, oh, tuition that have got to go. Hey, hey,
oh, tuition that have got to go. Hey, hey, oh, tuition that have got to go. Hey, hey, oh, tuition that have got to go. Hey, hey, oh, tuition that have got to go. Hey, hey, oh, tuition that have got to go. Hey, hey, oh, tuition that have got to go. Hey, hey, oh, tuition that have got to go. Hey, hey, oh, tuition that have got to go. Hey, hey.
Got some time.
Whose school? Whose rule? 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 Free BC, liberate CUNY.
Free BC, liberate CUNY.
Fight for 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 BC, liberate CUNY.
Whose school?
Our school.
Whose rule? Whose school?
Our school.
Whose rule?
Our rule.
Hey, hey, oh, tuition that have got to go.
Hey, hey, oh, tuition that have got to go. Hey, hey, oh, tuition that have got to go. Hey, hey, oh, tuition that have got to go. Hey, hey, oh, tuition that have got to go. Hey, hey, oh, tuition that have got to go. Hey, hey, oh, tuition that have got to go. Hey, hey, oh, tuition that have got to go. Hey, hey, oh, tuition that have got to go. Hey, hey, oh, tuition that have got to go. Hey, hey, oh, tuition that have got to go. Hey, hey.
got to go, hey, hey.
Oh, tuition that has got to go, hey, hey. Oh, tuition that has got to go, hey, hey. Oh, tuition that has got to go, hey, hey. Oh, liberate CUNY, fight for DC. 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 Liberate CUNY. Who's school? Our school. Who's school? Our school. Who's school? Our school. Who's school? Our rule.
Yeah. Yeah, everyone gather round, gather round. Everyone gather round. Thomas! Thomas! Gather round. Right now, budget cuts are hitting CUNY hard, and in a year where they want to raise tuition again, we have to fight these attacks on our university, but in order to do so, we have to understand the struggles of CUNY. Does anyone know when CUNY was first established?
No? When?
1847. How much did CUNY cost when it started? It was free. Founded in 1847, CUNY started out as the Free Academy. The Free Academy's goals were to make higher education more available to people in New York. It was intended to be free to extend the benefits of education to people who have completed school in New York. In 1961, under the governance of Nelson Rockefeller, CUNY was formally established. Was CUNY accessible to everyone always? No! Although free, CUNY was not always accessible. To be admitted to a 4-year college in CUNY, you had to test into the school. As we know, however, New York City was intentionally designed as a segregated city. Planners, politicians, and white residents enforced this through legitimate violence such as mob attacks and legal maneuvering such as redlining, blockbusting, and urban renewal.
Still doing it.
The levels of economic and racial segregation that Black and some Latino residents in New York City face influence the level of resources that schools in our communities have. Thus, similar to a current day and age, leaving Black and Latino students and working class students unable to access quality higher education. In the midst of anti-Vietnam War activism, the Civil Rights Movement, the Black Power Movement, and other anti-racist and anti-imperial struggles waged by CUNY college students nationwide, Black and Puerto Rican students on multiple CUNY campuses organized to demand just and equitable access to education for their communities.
Right.
In 1969, Black and Puerto Rican students took over City College and Brooklyn College and other CUNY schools and led a CUNY-wide strike. This forced the Board of Trustees to concede an open admissions policy, and overnight CUNY was opened up to oppressed communities. From that moment on, students in the community had to fight intensely to protect those gains. Does anyone know when CUNY first began implementing tuition? 1975. 1975. Why did they implement it?
Because I want that.
What else? What happened?
Huh?
There you go. So after 1975, CUNY closed the admission policy. The excuse was that there was a fiscal deficit and they couldn't fund the school anymore. But really what we saw is that the same amount of money that was used, not the same like exact money, but the same amount of money that was used to fund CUNY in 75, in 76, and the rest of in 76 and into the 80s was used to build prisons and support security infrastructure in New York City.
And CUNY has remained free through 2 world wars and the Great Depression.
Exactly.
Only when Blacks and Puerto Ricans come into CUNY, that's when they start implementing tuition.
So, tuition in CUNY was a tactic of the ruling class to put a barrier in the way of oppressed students having access to higher education. Students fought for decades against budget cuts and tuition hikes and defended open admission. So in March of 1976, Coastal Community College, which was the only bilingual college, they wanted to close it down. So students and faculty in the South Bronx community took it over for 20 days and saved it. Before the takeover, 20,000 CUNY and SUNY students marched on Albany to pay posters at John Jay College. In 1989, on April 24th, City College students protested Governor Cuomo's proposed budget. Cuomo's proposed budget cuts and tuition increases. They took over buildings on campuses and boycotted classes. On April 28th, 500 students blocked traffic during rush hour, and that night took over 14 floors of the East Building, while protests spread to the Hotel, BMTC, Lehman, Becker, Everett,
Harvard, and John Jay. Throughout May, students over 13 CUNY campuses as well as the streets of downtown took over 13 CUNY campuses and the streets of downtown Manhattan and negotiated to stop budget cuts. In March of 1995, 25,000 students fought budget cuts by shutting down Wall Street, and 14,000 of those students were high school students also. The tuition hikes and budget cuts were scaled back as a result of mass student organizing. Actions like this continued for over the years. In 1999, in the face of massive protests and lawsuits against the Board of Trustees, they voted to take away remedial courses in senior colleges, effectively killing open admission. So learning this history is important so we can understand the context of budget cuts in 2015. CUNY was created so the working class and oppressed students and oppressed communities can have access to higher education. But it's becoming CUNY is becoming more and more removed from the working class and more removed from students of color and immigrants and other oppressed communities. Budget cuts and tuition increases have always been a means through which structural racism and classism were enforced. The CUNY student movement must therefore fight this economic struggle as a political struggle. We must liberate CUNY for the people. We need a free CUNY.
Right.
Yeah! What do we want? Free CUNY! When do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
Free CUNY!
When do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
Free CUNY!
When do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
Free CUNY!
When do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
Free CUNY!
When do we want it?
Now!
And whose rules?
Our rules!
Whose school?
Our school!
Whose school?
Our school!
Whose rules?
Our rules!
Fight for BC, liberate CUNY!
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 Hey, ho, ho, tuition that have got to go!
Hey, hey, ho, ho, tuition that has got to go! Hey, hey, ho, ho, tuition that has got to go! Hey, hey, ho, ho, tuition that has got to go! Hey, hey, ho, ho, tuition that has got to go! Hey, hey.
Okay.
Yeah. Hey.
Yeah, so it's a lot of folks wondering exactly why we're out here. So I'm just going to read off some of our demands, that way folks get an understanding of exactly what we're out here fighting for. So demand 1 is tuition-free public college. Okay? As Tom pointed out, CUNY used to be a free institution until, you know, students of color became the majority of the students, and then all of a sudden tuition was imposed. So we want, a tuition-free public institution like CUNY used to be. Demand 2, we want a cancellation of all student debt. Demand 3, we want a $15 minimum wage for all campus workers. Demand 4, we want an end to gentrification at CUNY and in the community. Demand 5, we want popular control with a board of trustees elected by students. Because right now, the board of trustees is appointed by the governor. So, you know, we feel like, you know, students need to have a say in, you know, who's running CUNY. Demand 6, free high-quality education from preschool to university, including for undocumented students. Number 7, free high-quality on-campus daycare at every CUNY school. Demand 8, we want an end to military recruitment in all schools. Demand 9, we want a just contract for the Professional Staff Congress and all campus workers. And the last demand, we want an overhaul of the current Eurocentric, sexist curriculum and teaching methods.
Whose school?
Our school!
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 Whose got someone from the union speaking right now. This is Professor James Davis of English.
I want to send greetings from the PSC, which is the union that represents the faculty and staff. It's incredibly inspiring to see so many students out here on the sidewalk supporting the demands that you've just heard articulated. It's beautiful in this day and age to see so many people come out and occupy space and raise their voices in a time when it's easy to just be apathetic, or to think that if you just point and click, or you like somebody's, move on, think that took care of your activism for the day. So definitely congratulations just for showing up today. You're doing a huge thing just by taking up space and raising your voices. If anyone tries to tell you that student activism is dead, it doesn't work, your demands or whatever, tell them to look at what just happened at the University of Missouri. Tell them to take a look at what happened to the students who were the victims of predatory loans at the for-profit colleges and universities that are getting their debt canceled because they organized and cultivated movements. And tell them to listen to the story of the brave students, even here at Brooklyn College, who came forward when they learned that there was an undercover spy from the NYPD infiltrating and surveilling their community. Those courageous students let that story be known. So student activism definitely makes a difference. The PSC is the union that represents the faculty and the staff. But the reason that we're here, PSC folks, can you raise your hand? What's up? The reason that we're here is because we are struggling with the same struggle, the same logic of austerity that's impoverishing the students is also undermining our professional lives. So as you just heard, we're working against a system that's depriving us of a contract that's been expired for over 5 years now. And part of why we're here is to say your struggle is also our struggle. We oppose tuition increases. We're in favor of accessibility and affordability in public higher education, including CUNY. But we're also here because we need your solidarity and your support in our struggle. Some of you may know we've also been demonstrating all fall semester in front of the Chancellor's apartment building. We demonstrated last week in front of CUNY Central at the bargaining session. 54 professors and staff were arrested. Okay? So what we're going to need going forward is a lot more support from students and families, because the governor is not about to roll over and just cave into our demands. So the struggle against austerity is real, it's pervasive. We need to advance a totally different vision and a totally different narrative. So what you guys are putting out here today, you definitely have the support of the PSC. Thank you. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep talking to each other, nurture each other, argue with each other, educate each other. Thank you.
Who's school? Our school! Who's school? Our school! Who's school? Our school! Who's school? Our school!
Yo, what age are you supposed to
Hi everyone, thanks for coming. So if you feel comfortable doing so, please close your eyes. Draw your attention to your breath. Notice your inhales and your exhales. Just notice without trying to change or judge. Feel the breath in your chest and in your belly. Feel expansion. And now as you inhale, deepen your inhale and feel the air fill the belly and the chest, but also move beyond those areas. They move to the legs and to the arms. They move to the place where you connect to the earth, whatever your connection is. Feel grounded here. Perhaps you shift your weight back and forth, side to side, reconnecting. You are here. You are grounded, you are rooted, you are firm, you are steady, you are strong, you are here. You take up space, and you deserve to take up space. Take a deep inhale through the nose, and as you exhale, sigh out the mouth. I didn't hear anybody sigh. Inhale through the nose, exhale, sigh out the mouth. Once more. On your own breath. Remember your connection to the earth. Remember your connection to this space. Remember your connection to each other in our collective struggle and fight for justice. And as you feel ready, open your eyes, focusing on one point, and allow yourself to come back to this space. Hi. We're going to be talking about sexual violence next. So if you need to do anything to take care of yourself, absolutely go ahead and do that as always. My notes. Campus sexual assault has become a part of the national attention, as a part of national and mainstream consciousness. Last year, Emma Solkowitz from Columbia University carried her mattress around for a year, protesting the continued acceptance of her racist on her campus. And last year we also demonstrated. We also carried a mattress around campus, and were forcibly moved from where we were on the main quad all the way down to the west quad, where we wouldn't be seen by anyone. The following semester, all we had was red tape, vows of silence, flyers, and chalk. And funnily enough, ironically, we got into more trouble and ran into more red tape that way. All of this red tape is here, probably for good reason,